Hello and welcome. This video training is aimed for those users who are receiving or doing any transactions in our receiving forms in the Oracle system and work either for one of our 3PLs or any of our warehouses. And the training is aimed to train you on collecting some data that we need to have in our system regarding the drayage dates of the life of a container. We collect this information because we need to sometimes challenge or dispute any either detention charges or the merge charges from the steamship company or the drayage companies. So we need to collect the dates of the life of a container so that we can have that information in their system, in our system, and then report from it uh, to make or do any type of calculations of any dues due to drayage or the merge. Uh, so in the screen, we are displaying some of the fields that are in the Oracle system, and we'll go into that form in a minute just to show you where they are in the Oracle system. But here right now, we just are listing the fields that exist in the Oracle system. And we have highlighted in these two colors, the fields that we need to start collecting. They are required and some are optional. Starting from the last free day at the port for pickup. So what this means is that we need to start collecting the date a given container or a group of containers, when is the last free day that we have to pick them up at the port or the rail yard in case that we are doing this inland receiving of containers. They are not necessarily connected or directly delivered from the port. So that is this date right here. The next one, outgate date, pretty self-explanatory. That is the date the containers got pulled or outgated from either the port or the rail yard. The next one, it'll be optional field, which is the appointment for delivery. So some of our warehouse managers make appointments to get the containers delivered at the warehouses or the 3PLs. So that appointment will be this one for the appointment date. Pretty self-explanatory. And so is the next one, delivery date. Simply that is the date a container got delivered to either the warehouse or the 3PL. The next field that we need to collect is the last free day at the port for return. So that'll be the days that we have for free after the outgate. So we need to collect this date here also for any type of calculations for free time. So this field, it'll be the last day that we have to return the empty, either at the port or at the rail yard. The next one is the empty day, pretty self-explanatory. This one will be optional. That is the day the container got actually empty, meaning that somebody unload the contents of the container. The next one will be required is the notification date. This is the date that we notified the drayage company of the empty. So ideally, these two fields will be the same date, the date that is empty, and the same date, the date that we notify the drayage company, hey, we have a container that is empty and ready for pickup. Another field that will be required is the pickup date. This is the date the drayage company retrieve the empty container from the 3PL or the warehouse. And last, this is optional picked up by. That'll be either the driver ID or driver number of who picked up the empty container. So sometimes you cannot have access to this data or this ID number. That's why it's optional, but ideally you will collect it in case the Drayage company or somebody challenges our data. We can have the name or the ID of whomever picked up the empty container. So hopefully by now you are getting the idea why we are collecting all of this, so that we have the data in one place, and we can have backup data to make sure that we have everything we need to dispute any type of overcharge or wrong invoicing. And also it will help you manage the inbound. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So these fields are in the Oracle system. Right now I'm gonna go to Oracle system, and you guys are familiar with this form. You will go to the receiving form in Oracle. This is the form where we receive the containers. So everybody is familiar with this container tab. We'll just go and start looking into these two other tabs. So now I'm going to show you where the data is. So I'm going to just enter one of our 3PLs. You can do your search. In this, for this example, I will pull containers deported on the 26th of March 2020. And I know that because I pulled some data, and we have data for these containers in the test instance. So once you have your parameters that you're searching for, because you either will know the container number or some of these pieces of information. In this case, I'm using the port date as my parameter. Otherwise, it will be a lot of data. So you want to narrow this down to a small group of containers. So once I have this, I click Find, and it gave me a number of containers here. So let's say the first, you want to populate the last free day to retrieve the container at the yard or the port. So you will go to Drayage, and here are all the dates that we were looking at earlier in this tab of Drayage. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and more containers down, right? But let's say that we only want to update some of them, not all of them. So let's say that you have the data for actually all of these containers, right? Because they're all ported in the same date, and they all have the same date to get pulled out of the container. So you know that information. So you'll select all of them. Here to the right, you have these check boxes, and on top of it, it says update. So you will place a check mark in all of the containers you want to update. So right now, I'm going to update all of these there on the screen, 7 containers. And I'm going to say that the last free day to retrieve the container for pickup, it'll be, I don't know, I'm just going to use the end of the month of March for this exercise as an example. So we'll say March 31st. You place a date there and you click tab, and the system will place the same date in all of those containers that you place a check mark, and it will update the same date. Then you click save, and you have all of that data saved. So now let me scroll down, and you see it didn't save any of the ones that didn't have the check mark. So I'm just going to complete all of this. I'll place a check mark here. And I'll say the same date, the 31st. And everything's saved. You can just click save, and now the data is there, right? And you will continue doing the same thing for all of these pieces of information as you get them. right? So then you will learn from the drayage company when was it that they pulled the container out, right? So we have the last free day of the 31st. So in the ideal world, and let me remove these check marks here, they will pull the container before the last free day, otherwise we'll incur charges. So let's say that you know that they pull all of these 1, 2, 3, 4 containers. They outgate them on the 30th. So you select the 30th, you click yes, and it will update those. You click save, and now you have all these dates there. If the next field will be the appointment date, this will be optional, but ideally we encourage everybody to use this so you can manage your inbound. So you will know how many of these containers you have appointed to be delivered and a specific date so that you can make your your plans for the labor for that day, of how many containers you are to unload. And the rest of the dates, like the delivery date, that's when the containers got delivered, the last free day at the port to return, the empty date, this one it'll be optional, but you're encouraged to use it. The notification date, it populates when you click this, place a check mark in this box right here. Once you place a check mark, it will update automatically with the default date of to date. For example, I'm performing this video on April 21st, so that'll be the date that you notified it. So this one is just a checkbox, and you click save. Let me show you another example of, let's say that you have these containers appointed to be delivered. Let me remove this right here, save. So you have this appointed to be delivered on the following day after they outgate them. You have the 31st, and you click save. Okay, so let me clear this. And now you can search by that field. So do you want to search for containers that they have an appointment set, right? You click that and you click find. And it's returning only all those containers that have an appointment to be delivered. So this is where this date will be helpful for you, because now you can search by these dates also, right? To manage your inbound or the workflow in your warehouse. So again, just to clarify, these are the fields that we need to start collecting and save. You will update these dates as you learn them. You will learn from the drayage company when is the last free day for you to pick up the containers, or from the steamship company. You will learn when they got delivered, because you're receiving the containers, or you have somebody assigned to receive the containers when they get delivered at your yard. You will learn that date and you will populate it. So we just ask that you enter this for all of your containers, because when space is an issue, or some other external factors, sometimes we have to go back to the drayage companies or the steamship companies and challenge any type of overcharge for any of those fees that they impose, detention and drayage. What else do I need to show you here? Oh, okay, so let's go back to the pulling the information for the containers reported on the 26th. So I'll go back to the 26th, click find. No, let me clear this. Click find. Now we have all of these containers here. If you want to see all of the information at once, you just click in any of these fields so that it has the cursor in it. So you're grabbing data, and then you'll go to File. I'm sorry, expand this. File, and click Export. And then the system is going to ask you if you want to open or save it. Just click Open, and it will open an extract in Excel. It's going to give you this message here. It's okay to use this extension. And here you have the date. So let me expand that here. We have the containers. Let me hit this because they have no data in them. All right, so you have all of these containers. You have a total of 12 containers. You have populated the last free day for all 12, but we only have data for the outgate for 4, and we have an appointment date for those 4. So here you can have all the data if you want to look at it all at once to see what's missing or what you need to go back and check or repopulate or populate. All right, Bree, I hope this was straightforward. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us so we can answer any questions you may have. Okay, so we thank you for your time and have a nice day. Thank you.